Welcome back, anglers! I'm the Survivalist, and we return to Call of the Wild, the Angler, where we're taking our relook after the console release has gone live for the game. Last weekend, we just started with the premiere of checking back into it, hopping into things. A lot of things are familiar. I honestly can't recommend enough playing with a gamepad controller, some means of that, other than mouse and keyboard, because so much feels much more fluid and purposefully designed for it. I did make the comment that it felt like they had actually almost used the PC launch for Call of Wild the Angler as a beta test before releasing the console versions. And some of the aspects like that really feel apparent still. Oh. Okay, right. There we go. So, we started into the tutorial stuff, going through the very early steps. We are still in Taylor's Tackle Academy up there, where we're just going to keep going through that, try to balance our way along, and see what the tutorials go through. I still want to... I'll probably hold off visiting the shop until after we're done all the tutorial stuff, just because I want to see if they did actually put in, like, say, a progression curve for getting your levels up and getting better gear that way. Last time when I was playing the Angler on its first release, it let you be really open to getting all kinds of gear right from the beginning, so all you really had to do was save up funds, no problem, to get like gear that you probably shouldn't have been getting super early. So I wonder if that's why it kind of created that bit of a lull point, is because just playing kind of, it accelerated past the point we should have been with our stuff. So here we'll just hopefully get a chance to look at the store in a little while, see what it's like there, and go from there. For now though, we just gotta meet up this little requirement of catching a few more fish with the current gear, and hope something strikes. I know sometimes it can almost feel a little finicky depending on location trying to fish, but I don't know if... I'm actually going to quickly bring that in and try a little more upstream. I'm not sure it's like a little thing to make the locations feel a little bit more significant for when you're fishing or going after stuff, or it's just a bit of bad luck right now. But yeah, that is so much easier casting. Like, when it came to mouse and keyboard, the easiest thing to do was turn... I can't remember if it was turning on accessible casting or turning it off. But you basically just held it... It would basically give you a little power meter on the bottom. You'd watch for... Or you'd hold the input for casting out, just wait until it went for your power distance you wanted, then release. Using the controller, it's just so much easier working with it. But yeah, I don't really have any too major goals with it. With how the pacing so far is tackling tutorial stuff, and probably also tackling at least Troll Sport, I think I'll go back to. I'm going to see the Angler's probably going to be sticking around for a while. I'm thinking at least 20 episodes. Like, I know Ultimate Fishing Simulator, I stopped at around 15 or 16 because it felt like that one had a really, really weird progression to it. Like, Call of the Wild the Angler's progression was, I want to say better in some regards, but it all depends on the criteria you'd kind of use to compare the two. Like, Ultimate Fishing Simulator, it seemed like you should have been starting to see more fish on the second map, like, larger and better gear in that. But really, as we proved with the last two episodes, you could literally just ice fish on the first map and get yourself completely loaded with all kinds of funds. While on the other maps, you might struggle and have difficulty using the correct baits, trying to match the hook sizing for what it told you to. And it just felt like it was a really weird way it was working. Okay, I was kind of hoping for a little more action here. Maybe I gotta go... I'll try a little further upriver still. Oh yeah, sure, there's fish jumping. Of course, I can't seem to get anything. We'll try this spot, and if... Oh, that was a pretty dinky little cast, I'd say. We'll try this spot, see if we can get anything here. If not, we'll try changing up to another location. I might also want to check out and see if I need to switch the bait around, too. But I still feel like there is also a lot of room for improvement when it comes to Call of Wild the Angler. Like, the fishing isn't too bad in it. If the progression is right, then I think it'll keep a better trying to think of what it is. Like, it'll keep your interest drawn longer, because you feel like you are stepping up more and more, and there is something to be working towards all the time, whereas before, it kind of felt like you could get all the gear you really need to tackle most things, and then, yeah, that was kind of it. You would hit your point. You could try going chasing after, like, the trophy fish or the diamond catches and that, but those, I don't know, doesn't have the same merit in a way. But I think having the progression curve where you are slowly stepping up and you have something to continually work for is going to help keep that draw and interest longer with the game, if it does hold through as it has. I'm going to just... I can move the rod all the way around if I want to. I might have to try changing the bait, because something's not quite working here, I think. Now, come here and let me see. Maybe we'll try swapping out for the minnow instead. And we'll get right to the water's edge. You know what? I'm going to keep the default setting for the depth, too. See if that changes anything for us with this being flowing water. But anyway, I was back to, like, areas improve Call of the Wild the Angler. I still think there should be a little more you could do with, like, the world itself. Like, one of the neat things... Oh, there we go. I think I'm actually kind of surprised that... I was kind of surprised how much tension was on the gear already for us, but let's see what we got here. There we go. We're on smallmouth bass. Nothing too big, and again, we're just trying to work... Oh, God. I still feel like the character models, especially the hair, could use some more work. I look like a weird troll gremlin thing. But anyway, we'll release that, and just keep working with the default settings here. But yeah, areas of improvement. Russian Fishing 4 has a really nice idea I like, where you can go out and you can, like, harvest bait just on the maps. I feel like that would be a good thing you could include for Call of Wild the Angler. And make it so that way there are baits that you can't actually catch in a shop. So that way you can only... You have to travel to find them, but maybe they're really good for certain species or let you have better chances at, like, gold and diamond rated fish. Ooh. I just want to be careful bringing them in, because this one seems like it's got a fair size into it without its... Also, one thing that... And it's going to sound kind of stupid, but it just goes to show, like, how little I've used controllers for a lot of games. Is having the little rumble feature in a gamepad when you're, trying to, say, like, fight a fish like this to reel it in. Adds a neat little touch to the experience, too. Almost feels like you have that extra bit of fight and trying to go up against them. Oh, just another bronze. Getting our levels up, which will help a fair bit. It seemed... Now, I don't know if the credit system has changed, where... Before, it used to be it would go entirely off of experience. So you'd only get credits and stuff in, I think, if you hit certain thresholds towards, like, leveling up. Which was a really weird way of doing it. I don't know if it's been changed to focus more so that every catch you'll start getting credits in, or how that's changed, if it has. But I keep getting distracted because as soon as I start talking about one topic, a fish strikes, and I gotta try to go back in time and remember what I was talking about beforehand. There we go, I can just bring it in with the rod down like this. I think, actually, the positioning of the rod does have a little effect when it comes to the tension on the line. It's like having it pointing down like this seem to keep it from getting too spiked up towards the very limits of the tension. That probably was always a thing, but I think it was a little more awkward trying to maneuver the rod when it came to mouse and keyboard than does controller. And right again, going back in time, talking about, like, finding the unique baits on the maps or that. It just feels like, again, for as big of a map and as open world as Call of the Wild the Angler is, there's not that much that they've really leaned into for having so much area to roam about, explore, and discover. I know I go a bit silent here, but it's just because with going back to the early game, the fights are pretty good against a lot of these species, so... There we go. Didn't have to secure this guy, so probably wasn't as big as our others. But that at least brings us to a nice spot where that's the 5 fish for that done. Okay. So now, we'll fast travel our way back here. I think I've got a fast travel point somewhere. Yeah, there we go. We'll fast travel back, check the board, and see about what the next step is. But again, the world, I mean, even just look at the map, this is a huge map. And yet, all the area that's basically not directly around the bodies of water serves little function for you. Like this area here, all over here has nothing to it. All over here has nothing really for you. All along here on this trail, nothing there. It's just something where it'd be interesting to add a little more. Like, I know it's going to sound a little stupid, because it's definitely not something you'd expect from a game like this, but one of the things I liked for one of my, well, probably my favorite game franchise and series has been Monster Hunter. But one of the things you could do is go out and gather, like, herbs, plants, minerals, stuff like that. So imagine if you could actually use the open world here more for that as well. You could go out and find yourself unique minerals, special plants and that. Like, if they ever implement fly fishing, maybe they'd use that to try to make the flies have a little more custom uniqueness. But that way you can make things like, say, more special and refined lures, but have them so that way maybe they're not on unlimited use. Have them kind of like how Russian Fishing 4 is, where they can be lost on a snag or a broken line. But it's because they're not charged money or that, and you can just go out into the world to find where they are again. It kind of incentivizes you to try these out, find what works, and then just go exploring the map again to find and get these things. I'm sure it might be a divisive topic, but I still feel like with how much map you have here, there should be a little bit more that you could do on it, or that you have more engagement with it. Maybe it's just me trying to expand the genre a little too much, but I don't know. I'd be curious what you guys think of that too. Okay, so we got up to level 5. We got new things added to the backpack. It looks like it gave us a fair bit of things, actually. Let me check. Okay. Okay, so we got a crankbait, a spinner, a frog, and a spinner. So oh, some more credits. Okay, so I guess to get you started off, it wants to give you, like, a... Oh. You see... Okay, the audio might be a little funky there. I don't know how long it was out for. But maybe what the idea is to give you a broad, basic foundation to work off of, and then you can go into, like, larger lure sizes, get bigger fish and such. We're going to keep going with the Tackle Academy and see how it goes along. So welcome to the third class of the Academy. In the class, we'll explain the basics of spin fishing, talk about lures and lure retrieval, and explain about how the lure is going to affect it. Because before, it felt a little weird trying to maneuver the mouse for matching the timing window. But with a controller, if it's just moving the joystick up and down, that's going to be super easy to do. And the last challenge, you received a spinner with a hook size of 7. Equip this using quick menu or rod builder. This class uses a spinner to catch trout. Okay, so let's quickly do that. So we change this to a lure spinning rig. The maiden, the reel, the line, and it said spinner, so that's... I thought it said it was a hook size of 7. Oh, there it is. Okay, we have multiple spinners. Okay. Ooh, let me remember getting that out. There we go. Okay, so where do we gotta go for this? Oh, actually, it's sending us a fair ways down for it, but you know what? I kind of dig it. It's a little easier handling the vehicle with the controller again. And I hate sounding like a broken record, but it really is just that much of a difference it completely makes. Oh, there you are. I guess it took a minute to call it back and spawn it in. Yeah, okay, so let's see. I kind of forgot the controls to, I think this is the right way to go. Yeah, I think so. It does say that's down that way, so we just gotta follow the road. Oh yeah, even going full speed here. Oh, there was a new vista. You know what? Because we have so much ground to cover, I'm just going to take us for a straight drive. I think I'm still on the road, to be honest. With a little bit of glare from the sun, it just kind of looks like the ground's a bit bleached, so it's hard to tell if I am actually driving where I'm supposed to be. Kind of reminds me when we were going after... Actually, was it going for trout and trying to... Was it trout or salmon? There was one episode where, in the previous series of The Angler, we were trying to go off through the mountain pass. I basically took the Jeep off-road and was flying off of some of the boulders along one of the ways down. It definitely sped things up for where we wanted to go. But it was also a little bit silly about how we, I think, got it lodged in the boulders. Okay, but yeah, we'll keep going like this and reach our destination in a little bit of time. Oof. Well, first little collision isn't too bad. I'm sure when I first got my hands on the Jeep, I was smashing into much more... Oh, with just the mouse and keyboard. Oh. Okay, let me see. Oh, no, I am going the right way still. It just forks around. I thought I almost forgot a turn somewhere. Ooh, careful. We're gonna probably need a fresh coat of paint on this poor vehicle, but we're getting our way through. Oh, what was... Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna hop out for a moment, because there was something to report up here. One of the aspects about the... Yeah, here it is. An aspect that I'm surprised they didn't go into was that they left these, like, little discoverables to find and report that would give you some experience and, I think, credits.
Oh, what you found there is a sad, sorry waste of chlorophyll. Some fiendish bully they dare call a daisy. If you see more, keep me posted.
Okay. Yeah, so... That was one of the aspects to try to make the world have, like, something to do in it, is you could go around and find... Actually, hang on, can you... Oh, you can actually do, like, a burnout in the vehicle. Just hold the brake and go full hard on the gas. I didn't realize you could do that. Okay, so fast travel location unlocked. I don't know if there's anything to do here. Like, there might be a collectible to snag, but that's about all. But when it came to... Yeah, there is something here to snag. It looks like just a little note. Oh, about the largemouth bass. I do want to check these, just in case maybe there have been notes that I missed before that actually give you hints to anything. It can be a tough one to catch. Being an aggressive biter will require strong reflexes to hook in the first place. While it's on your line, will not give up without a fight, jumping around if you get it close to the surface, sometimes even luring you into false insecurity by making you think it is exhausted. All that is without mentioning that the roughness of its mouth causes a lot of wear on your line, which makes high tension on your line for a long time dangerous. When fishing for largemouth bass, you should be prepared to fight fish up to 3.5 kilograms easily, with the biggest I've seen golden ridge growing up to 5 kilograms. My advice would be to use a crank lure or a frog lure with a mono or steel leader. I don't think there's actually leaders in the game, so unless maybe that's a bit of gear that I've missed. Well, let me see. Okay, so we're here, so we still got a fair ways down to go. Oh, and actually got a little bit more info about kind of like where this is situated, I guess. So I guess Golden Ridge is somewhere in Wyoming, just South Montana, and given, again, just the natural beauty of the area, it does feel sort of central U.S. in a way. I guess more northern central U.S. It does have that Montana, Wyoming sort of feel. But anyway, we got a long ways to keep driving, so let's keep going. I'm trying to think of anything else. Again, I get distracted and I lose my train of thought, and then it's like trying to figure out, okay, what the heck was I talking about just before? Yeah, there's no introduction to actually reporting the invasive species, the invasive species on the map. So I don't know if that's something I decided to just kind of forego and not try to draw too much attention to, or if it'll be after the Tackle Academy, and if we would talk to the warden, we would get the little bit of intro to that. I also think I gotta be a little mindful as we're driving too, because I think there is a bit of screen flickering, but I'm wondering if that's because we're like changing almost like loaded areas as we're going about. I'm trying to think of what game had that. It might have actually been the previous version of the Angler, where you could drive the vehicle so quickly, you were actually driving ahead of how long it might take the game to render everything for you. But yeah, driving is so much different with controller. Having the extra sensitivity in place really does drastically change so many of the inputs and the feel of a lot of the aspects of this game. But we're within a kilometer now, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Oh, actually. There we go. Oh. I don't know if I remember a tunnel. I do want to stop out for a moment just to, again, check for any collectibles since we are here. But I don't remember if I ever had to go through a tunnel before. Then again, I don't know if I was ever actually sent too much down in this area for any of the tutorial stuff. Let me just take a little check here. Yeah, there's something. Native History 1. See, like, little tidbits of that are okay to add into the world to add some depth, but gameplay-wise, it's not really all that much added or different to what you could do. And it's Bernie the Bear, because, of course, Smokey has to be copyrighted in that, so we got Bernie here. But yeah, let's hop back in here, and we shouldn't be too much longer before we'll reach where we're going. And we'll probably end the episode just having made it to where it wants us to try fishing at. Well, I shouldn't say try fishing at. Oh, hang on a moment. There was a little weird green... Yeah, this right here. A bone.
That right there is the most in-demand tissue since the last time I cried. I got to my temple T-Bone Joe's, and their fryer was on the fritz. Sweet Lucy twisted my arm and stuffed a quiche of all things down me. And I can still taste that sharp cheddar flatulence in my nightmares. Find me more of those damn bones so I can rest easy.
I don't know how those two correlate together, but whatever. Yeah, there was something you could actually find, like, fossil sites on the map, too, but... Again, it's just kind of the aspects of... You wish there was a little bit more involvement than... Go to point, press button, end of use, or that's it. Yeah, we'll just keep driving our way along and see about... Actually, let me take a... Actually, no. For the sake of things, maybe I'll stick to the road. I was thinking about off-roading, but given what I mentioned about how things have gone with the vehicle before, maybe it'll be better just to keep to the road and take the safe way down. I don't know how far it might toss us back if I do something stupid and see how much air we can get driving off the side of the road. Oh, hang on. I hear the little thing again. Oh, yeah, basically drove over him.
Quarter of them oxeyes sorted. We'll be pulling out the daisies in no time, Buck.
And I think this is... Yeah, this is it. Okay, we just gotta go down here. Okay, no, there's no fast travel point yet. I was going to say, did they actually give me a fast travel point and I could have skipped... Oh, jeez. Okay, that was a bit of a hard hit. Alright, going downhill, you get a lot of speed very quickly. Let's go a little bit more carefully. I was going to say, if they gave us a fast travel point and I did the long way of slowly going over here, that'd make me pretty stupid. But, whew. Might actually have to see how fast you can go in the vehicle, given how much speed it wants to pick up at times on you. But here we are. Nice little cabin right beside the water. Nice little dock built up too. And just for the sake of things, we'll actually park the vehicle somewhat proper. Oddly enough, it's not smoking. I thought when I first got out, the smoke coming from the campfire might have been from the vehicle, but seems like it's holding up pretty well. And we got odd spot for whatever that is. Looks like a note of some kind. Layman's Indubitable Footprint Bible by Humphrey G. something or other. Is this another, like, little thing for, Bigfoot? Now, welcome to Layman's Indubitable Footprint Bible. Prior possible, I'm not alive. Just forward, this guy will use the standard Wendition unit of a small quarter to a large half of a full steezel, so... There are many kinds of birds, and all of them are terrifying. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that, because again, that's a fair bit of reading to do for a series like this, considering we want to focus on fishing, and it doesn't really do much for us. But we made it to the marked location, so next episode we'll see about how the spinning and retrieval techniques work. God, it's vistas like this I'm really glad to come back to for the angler, just because of how naturally beautiful they are. The graphics are amazing for the game still. Lure retrieval. As opposed to float fishing, spin fishing is more active, requires the lure to move through the water in order to entice fish to bite. This is done by performing a retrieval technique. Each lure has list compatible techniques, such as the const technique, which is effective for spinners. This simple technique requires reeling in the lure at a constant speed. While reeling in, speed can be varied as seen in the bottom left of the screen. Some fish may prefer the faster speeds, while others might be slow swimmers and only catch up with a slower speed. Yeah, so next episode we'll show that off. It seems like we could either take a boat out and go somewhere there, or we can just do it right from the dock. But we'll tackle that next episode. For now, thank you guys very much for joining me on this episode of Call Wild the Angler. If you did like the video, be sure to give it a like. And if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure to leave the comments right down below. Until I see you all next video or episode, anglers and survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, and happy angling.